The 26th DroPodcast, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I got a few guests today, not just a few. I got some of the top-notch players in playing Planetside too.
All of them.
Also me.
That's nice.
Let's start with you, Mr. Roquewolf. Can you tell a bit about yourself?
Which one?
Roquewolf.
Firstly, I'm probably the only American in this podcast right now.
Oh, of course, you gotta start with that. Of course.
we've got more.
I'm a token Yank.
USA.
I've also been playing Planetside 2 since release and done a number of videos on it. And I'm more than a little depressed at the latest.
Okay. Voodoo, what can you tell about you?
I'm just a retard. No. I've been playing this game since release, pretty much. I have too many playing hours, like, I don't know, 10k plus. I don't know. And spend way too much money, and I'm really sad that it maybe ends in like 2 years.
Okay. Imp, what can we say about you?
I make shit videos on YouTube and rage at heavy assaults. That's
Plugging
me.
yourself.
This is what I do.
Do we need more than that, though? Okay, what about you, ENZAK?
I'm a fairly new player compared to all the guys here. I'm from this summer. I don't know. I just hope the game survives it. But I don't think so.
You're the best
I
pilot,
hope so.
I heard.
Yes, he is. ENZAK is best pilot. He's Bay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the video.
Yes, same.
Oh,
ENZAK
gee.
best girl.
What about you, Mr. Punisher?
I'm just your typical salty
Oh, he's
Guy.
here to babysit.
hamster, if you want to call it that.
Hamster,
Flying
okay.
ESFs.
He's
Mhm.
really Antares.
No, just play a lot of ESFs and do other shit in the game, and have been playing since 2013.
Okay, and fine, we've got Asorr. What do we need to know about you?
I've been playing the game since 2015. I do a lot of squad leading and tanking. That's about it. I think I personally think that Daybreak's only got 9 to 10 months left.
9 to 10 months. Well, let's directly dive into the first topic then, and it's just a simple question to you. You can only answer with yes or no. Is this the end of Planetside 2? Let's start with Roquewolf.
No, not yet.
No, okay. Voodoo?
No.
No. Imp?
No, but it's the beginning of, I'd say.
Okay, ENZAK?
I'd hope no, but I also have doubts about it.
Okay. Punisher?
No.
And yeah, Asorr? 9 months, you say?
No.
No,
Not
okay.
yet, but
Was there like a timeline when you guys think that the game will completely disappear, or will the servers be running for a while?
Servers will be probably running for a while. But I think there will be some sort of like timeline at the end, pretty much. I mean, it's still in the future. It comes with like what happens next, pretty much.
I
think it
personally
just-
think that Daybreak, they're running out of cash quickly, and the more cuts they make, the harder it's going to be to make more content and things people will buy, and the quicker they're going to not be able to pay off the loans they took for Planetside Arena, and I think it's just going to spiral down.
I think the game will just fade out and lose players over time as it is like the previous years before, and just like goes the same way it did, just with fewer updates in the future.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it as well. I mean, unless they really decide to dedicate more people to the game, which right now I can't see happening.
Well, I know ENZAK and Asorr as well are part of a community, basically. What is your community saying? Are you guys continuing with the game, or are you looking for different venues to continue playing different games?
I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna head into more of the Call of Duty thing until this game kind of gets revived or whatever. I'll definitely keep visiting it. Sorry, but like I don't see a point of investing right now. Like I'm kind of sad. I spent like 80 euros last week into Planetside, and then I hear the whole layoff thing. But yeah.
And what
Well,
about you, Asorr?
I'm gonna keep playing Planetside until the end. I'm part of TG, and I lead a lot of squads over there, and it's kind of like family. So I'm gonna keep playing until the lights go out.
Until the lights get out. Are more guys like you you guys just will continue playing until the servers go down, or more people looking into different games right now?
I mean, for me, it's totally just what my friends play,
Yeah.
and I play what they play.
Okay.
Like we as Asset, like with some sort of bling people in a little bit. Like we all play together this game, like in our little Discord. And probably if the game dies, we're just gonna move on to the next game, I guess. I don't really know. And maybe we just not gonna play anything and just chill in the Discord. I'm not sure.
I mean, for me, Planetside was always like on and off. Like I took a break, and then someone PM'd me and said I should come back and play again a bit with them, and I did. And then I play again for a year, and then I take a break again, stuff like that. And if people decide to move on and play something different, like I heard some people are interested in the new Call of Duty, maybe I buy it as well and just play that for a while. I don't know. It has been like that for years already, and I think I just keep it like that.
What's your main game right now, Mr. Imp Hunter?
At the moment, I'm just kind of between games, to be honest with you. I always loved Planetside. Planetside always has a special place in my heart. But with the issues that we've been having lately with it, the likes of there's really questionable things going on with servers, netreg, and things like that. And the client performance for some people is just terrible at times. And now that we've lost a lot of the talent in regards to the engine and fixing that, it's got to the point where you're like, man, it sometimes can be a chore to play it at times, and you kind of held on because there was hope with that being fixed. But now with all of that talent leaving, you're like, So with that in mind, I'm kind of like shopping around, for different things to play as well.
I think if we come to that, it's like for me, it's kind of the end of playing the game serious. I stopped playing the game serious like 2 years ago or something, because it's like there's no point. Air gameplay is that pretty much, and I'm a pilot, so I don't really do anything else in that. So I just do stuff that's like completely stupid and makes fun, like tons of fun with my friends, and just do that. For example, like I don't know, striker works and just annoy some people or whatever.
I also feel like the only reason why people are staying right now is because of the friends they have inside of the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
community is going to be key for it, though.
Yeah.
And right now, there's quite some silence from the Planetside 2 team. Rel has not said nothing, I think. Nor Zach, nor anything, not anyone. Do you guys think there needs to be like a statement from Daybreak Games or from Planetside as a dev team?
Honestly, I don't really think so. I think everything got said that needs to be said. And I think that everybody can kind of imagine himself what's gonna happen. I mean, at some point there should be a statement, yes, but I don't think it's like really necessary like right now. But I think they should give a statement at some point.
I mean, is it actually confirmed that there are like 2 people left working on the game?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or is it just a rumor? People just keep repeating it.
I think it is.
Well, the thing is, they're supposed to be doing a dev stream soon. Right before, I think it was 3 or 4 days before when they were doing the PTS notes, they were saying that they were going to do a dev stream soon. So I'm wondering if Rel's still going to hop on stream and just, kind of give the spiel before this next big it's somewhat big update. I mean, you're getting the Dalton back. You're getting quite a lot back out of it. I think he would make at least an announcement and just say he's going to fight for it strongly. I hope.
Like, while looking at the patch notes, I thought, like, why didn't he do that earlier?
Yes,
because it was something people kept asking for since Combat Arms dropped.
I saw so many people coming back, like the last 2 days, like because of I had also a lot of people that said, "Hey, I'm coming." I even saw Justitia again. Like he was gone for like 3 years. Like holy fuck! There's so many like old people coming back. They heard like Dalton is getting buffed again and it's one shot on ESFs, and the people are like, "Yeah, I want to try this again." And then they come back and they find that game, I guess. Kind of oof.
Just to go back to the one that killed Dalton, what do you guys, your pilots, what do you guys think about the longer reload time of it? Does it matter much
fair.
or fair?
It's fair.
Fair because the problem was, I think they initially changed Dalton because of solo living, because
Yes.
I think Vrel didn't like that. Not
I don't.
initially
He
because
didn't like Dalton's like in common. I think like against ESS because he
maybe the
thought
one-shot
like
mechanic can be frustrating if you're new and want to learn, and then you just get poofed
Yeah,
and
something
shot
like
it out
that.
of the air. But I think it was because of solo living, and the reload change shows it a bit because it punishes spamming if you just switch sheet and spam into the general direction. And I know a lot of people like to just gun for like a Dalton Liberator and just spam the fucking Dalton because the reload is like 2 seconds.
And not only that, it's in my opinion, it's like the reload nerf is good because of like tanks as well, because it's way too strong against tanks. And then they kind of do it like nerf it against that, but it's still fine against air because like then you can't spam it anymore. Yeah, so you have to like kind of be more looking forward for your shots and just kind of be a little bit more waiting on it. But
It's
still fine.
basically you need to think about what you actually do.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, hello. I don't know. Twitch is doing strange today. And my internet maybe as well. But we should be back.
It looks alright.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I'm wondering, because this PTS patch seems pretty okay, good reception so far, promising future things, and then suddenly the whole layoff hit. Do you think it was also a surprise for the developers?
I don't know.
It seems to have been.
A bit at least.
I mean, isn't it required to get a notice like a month before you get fired or something?
Depends on the country.
Yeah, they're based in California, I believe, so it could just be at will.
I think they know it though.
I think I know it. Yeah. I mean, from what I have this update they had on PTS, right? Like they have on PTS right now was overdue so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't know, like 2 years. They should have done it like a year ago, like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And
about
said, hey, we messed up. Sorry.
The way they dropped Combined Arms in a like unfinished state, in my opinion, and then like they could have said like, yeah, we want to adjust some things, and then maybe like change it back then, and not just like say no, we don't want that. That's intentional, and then say like basically fuck you to the community, and then now go back to the one-shot mechanic. It's kind of stupid, but
yeah.
Hey, at least
we're
they
happy about
do it actually.
Yes.
Like right now, because there's such a small team, I hope they just make more of a community-driven game out of it. Like they set roadmaps yearly. Hey, this is what we're gonna do. It doesn't have to be much, but just sustain the game, keep it running. That's what I expect from two people doing this.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, I just checked. According to California law, an employer that has 75 or more employees has to give advance warning for a layoff, and that might not cover Daybreak.
What, 75 you say?
Yeah.
I think they have way more.
They have more than 75, right?
Well, I mean, at least the studio doing Planetside.
You think that the Planetside studio is a different
It might be. They might
division,
have done
maybe?
that.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah, you
But
never know.
then there's. I just want to point this out. Like, there's a game, Hell Let Loose, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Like a Viking game. It's developed by 10 people, the whole game, and it looks 10 times better. It's like insane how much you can do with a small team, and I just can't get over it. Like there's a lot of people working at Daybreak, or at least there were, and what did they really do?
I don't think, like most of the time, I don't think it was a problem with the talent at Daybreak, the devs themselves. There were some seriously talented people working at Daybreak, but I think that it was the management just muddying the water every time, you know? Like some of the stuff that we have heard from the ex-devs is like, that's a fuck, what is going on in that management suite? Like, holy crap.
It's like, for example, DirectX 11 update, the devs, like some devs even said that on themselves, say it's not ready. We can't push it like to the live servers. It's like, if we push it, it's gonna be fucked pretty much. And they still in management like literally just said like, no, just do it.
Yeah.
Even the devs, like some devs said, "Hey, it's not ready," but they had to do it because of the management.
But
So
then
you
at this
can't blame
point,
the devs.
at this point, the devs have more leverage than the actual managers. Like they are already about to lose their jobs. They can literally say now, like, "Hey, I'm not gonna do this. You can fire me for it," because then you have 0 devs. Because
I
then,
wouldn't say that.
You're gambling on your future if you
Yes.
do that.
but no.
Yeah.
The thing is, they are certain they're gonna get fired within this and a couple years, right?
I don't
You're
know.
not certain about
The,
that.
the sleeper
Yeah.
team needs to be there, right, to make sure
Yes.
at least there is some content.
Yeah, that's
Because
what
they
I
want to
mean.
make
The
money
sleeper
with new
team-
skin. Yeah,
The sleeper team is 2 people.
but
So
that's
if you
enough
fire
to keep
those
it.
2 people, you have nobody. So they can't fire them. Or they would
Oh.
have to pull over people from other divisions in the Daybreak.
It depends on the earning potential of Planetside as a ongoing thing. If say Rel and the other guy goes like, listen, you have to get into our demands or we're walking and you'll have nobody on this project. Daybreak might rightly make the financial business decision that it's just not worth it and sunset Planetside as a franchise. So it's kind of a tightrope there.
Yeah, but like, what? Yeah, like Simple says right now, like, where's the line where it's gonna get shut down or not? Planetside Arena is how many people a day? Like 40?
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are they keeping it up?
I don't know.
I don't
Because
know about
apparently,
Arena.
according to B-Bonus or B-Bonus, many game modes are kind of ready. Some of them is ready. There's a deathmatch mode, 90% ready. There are a lot of things almost ready.
Let's be honest here. Come on. The game modes won't like give Planetside Arena players back. It will give players back for like 2 days or 3 days or maybe 1 day. And then everybody's like, damn, this game is garbage compared to other games that came out in 2019 like Planetside Arena did. It's like Planetside Arena is just not a 2019 game. It's like 2015, 16, some sort of.
The
You compare
problem with it was that nobody really advertised it and nobody knew about it
Yeah.
when they dropped it, even though it's
Yeah,
just
not
early
only that.
access.
It's like if you look at Call of Duty, like compare it to Planetside Arena, because both of these games are 2019 games.
But
And then
you can get away with releasing a relatively old game with a new mode. For example, Fortnite, it is not 2019 ready. I mean, it is an old game as well. Still, people play it. Minecraft, old game.
Because
I think the old game is not really a problem as long as it is refreshing, plays well. That is okay.
The problem is like Arena doesn't do really anything special compared to something like Fortnite or PUBG or something like that.
Yeah, I disagree with that because the loadouts are quite special. You start with a loadout, you start with 12 players, if there are enough players online. And you should start with 300 players. In theory, it's a good concept.
In theory, yes.
But the problem is, literally, I follow quite some mainstream game magazines, and not even... Okay, maybe PC Gamer did some article, but the other ones, nobody reported on the game. Nobody.
Because nobody knows.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of too late to do advertisement because, yeah...
I mean, when
they don't have the money to advertise.
Yes.
Now, what I
Because
think
advertising
is
is expensive.
they want to kind of like keep it down, just develop it, and then fully commit to it in 2020 or whatever they said. But that wouldn't make sense then to shut down like Planetside.
Make layoffs and everything.
Like when they initially talked about Arena and nobody knew what it was, I thought like they would do something like an Arena shooter because somebody told me like that or teased me like that, and then I was kind of disappointed that it would be like Battle Royale mainly, and I didn't get the decision after it, to be honest.
Yeah, what I really wished it was an Arena shooter where you could just do your squad versus another squad, small base fight.
Yep. Like
that's it.
Like it's like the infantry gameplay mechanics in Planetside are great in my opinion, and they maybe should have done something with that. There are more great aspects about Planetside, but I don't really find that much in Arena, to be honest.
I think if you could have done like squad skirmishes, like people have to set up on Jigger or whatever it is, if you could just do that directly in Planetside Arena, like set up your own little your own little skirmishes, your own little team versus team things, that would have gone a long way towards helping it.
Interesting. I got a message from Simple Nub over here. Should have just fixed Planetside 2.
I
if you
just,
ask me.
read it as well. I just wanted to comment on it as well.
But yeah, tell. What do you want to comment about it?
It's actually I have to step on the same train as Simple. Like, yeah, that just should have fixed Planetside.
Well, what should have been
Planetside is
fixed?
So much like the engine isn't great. And like the engine isn't great at all. Like you have really bad FPS for what kind of monster PCs you have. It's like stupid.
Yeah.
Like my PC is not bad, and I still can't get
but
like in
that's-
big fights can't get on over 110 FPS.
What we tried to fix with the X11. Yeah, go ahead.
Not
ENZAK.
really. That's not really the fault of the game itself. Like, have you
course.
seen any other game here that has been playing higher matches than 100? Like Battlefield has at 64.
Yeah, but that's not the only point.
No, the
Same
point
with balancing,
is
like the
the
balancing,
more
decision making, and so on and so on
like-
and so on and so on. It's like so much wrong.
yeah, but it doesn't work like it's scalable like in a linear way. Like no,
I know.
the
Obviously
more
not.
players you add, the worse it gets.
Yep.
So like our
I know.
FPS is surprisingly high for what we're actually doing.
The problem for me, like ever since I upgraded my PC in like July or something, I don't have FPS problems anymore. Like I've always 100 plus. I mean, I
Yeah.
also play potato pretty much, but still. And the problem for me is like it doesn't feel like 100 plus.
Yeah,
It feels like 60, sub 60 sometimes.
Yeah, sub 60.
I get excuse me, I get that a lot as well. Where the game will say it's like 120, 140 FPS, but it honestly feels like it's 60 FPS or even lower at
Yeah.
times.
And
You'll
for
get
example-
things like micro stutter and
Yes.
and a little bit of lagginess to it.
And
For example, if you like fly into like with an ESF into like the crown and there's a big fight going on, it says you have like 120 FPS or something, and it feels like you have 20 because the itching is like so bad,
Yeah,
especially the crown on
I
PLS
can-
area. It's like horrible.
I can give like another example. Like I was playing with Voodoo today, Liberator and Miller, and like if you engage flag turrets and you get close to them,
Oh
your
my God.
my FPS dropped from like 160 to 20 for like
Same.
3 seconds because of the particle effects.
Yeah, but with other AI, it isn't like it's only with stationary AI turrets.
It's basically like with the flag mechanic explosions and stuff like that.
Yeah, any major particle effect, like sometimes even the fireworks will do it. I know the thumper flame effects will cause hitching on my box.
Never did for me, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Could just be like a setup specific thing.
It
I don't
maybe
know.
causes input lag, but not
Yes,
itching.
but not itching. At least I never felt any itching with like Thumper. I played it myself. It wasn't really bad, to be honest.
But what are like the biggest complaints and things you want to see change?
Balancing.
Mm,
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
for example, infiltrators or maxes, or what kind of balance we're talking about?
About everything, pretty much, to be honest. Like the
Yeah.
tank gameplay versus
That's-
infantry gameplay is terrible. The infantry versus air gameplay is terrible, and the other way around as well.
yeah.
And infantry gameplay in its own, like play infil and you win, it's kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You just
Yeah.
click on heads, it makes no sense, and kind of it's like
I think there's a
there's
lot
so
of
much like balancing issues.
I would like if they would start with some critical bugs, like if you shoot a decimator and swap to a weapon, you get always that animation bug.
yeah.
And I really
I mean-
do not like that. And like other stuff, like the critical chain implant is still bugged. There are more bugs that you still have for years in the game. If they would start
Yeah.
with that, then maybe the FPS issues and then balancing last thing.
Like now
Because-
that there's only 2 devs, I think they should think of how they fix things easier. Like the critical chain, the way it is right now, just fucking disable it from the game. Like
Yes.
nobody needs it. What is the plus of it? You can play with
can't really-
no, you can play with battle hardened instead of your
Yeah,
stupid
but,
thing.
I mean, I
if
can't
nobody
really see
has it,
anybody
it's
playing with
it's not a problem.
Yeah, I don't even see like a lot of people playing with it. I kind of
I
feel like
think-
I'm the only one that sometimes plays with
Yeah,
it.
I think that's the big issue. Like you can fix things just by saying if nobody has it, then nobody
Just
will
remove
use
it.
it. Yeah, just remove it. And
If
then
something is like really badly bugged, just get it out of the game.
yeah, just
Hmm.
don't even spend your time on fixing something that's like insanely hard if you're only like 1 or 2 guys now.
To just
And
make it easier to fix.
it's
Yeah.
basically what you want to do is like keep people that enjoy the gameplay, and you can't enjoy the gameplay if there are bugs, if the performance
Yeah.
is bad, and then there's no point in putting effort into like content updates if the performance doesn't work or the
Yeah.
game's buggy as shit.
And that's that's a point that a lot of people criticize for like years.
I
now.
would
They
I
push
would keep,
content, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would keep playing this game until the end of time if there's just no bugs. If I would just
Yes.
be able to come in this game, do the same thing I did yesterday, maybe try something else, just get better at it, and I would have my time enjoyed. Like, there's
Yeah,
no
I mean-
need for all the content and new continents and whatever. I don't need that.
I mean,
If
I can talk for
Planetside-
myself.
Sorry, go ahead.
I can like what ENZAK just said. I could play this game for like ever. I did exactly that. Like for 5 years, I came online, did exactly the same thing all day long because it just worked.
Yep,
And I had my
that's
fun with it.
yeah, it's a really good point. Like the game is marred in so many issues at the minute between performance and the servers and just general balance. Yeah, I think if they could solve that, like the core gameplay loop of Planetside 2 is pretty good. Like we've all been here for years playing it, but yeah, it's reaching a point where it does need to be
Yeah.
fixed.
In the
Mm.
game's defense, any free-to-play game, the income is the content. They've got to make new things for people
Yeah.
to buy in order to bring in more money. Because you got to balance it. I mean, you can't just like leave game critical bugs going and expect everybody to keep buying stuff, but you do have to balance between the two.
Of course, yeah.
True.
But if you think of it, there's only 2 people. I think. Do we still have artists there? I think
Mm.
it's gonna be the community that's gonna be making new helmets.
Play studio, boys.
Yeah.
What are you?
But do you
What
guys
I
think that the layoffs were done rather random, or
I think
with
it
some
was
ideas in
just-
mind?
I think it was just retarded the way they did
Yes.
stuff.
Think
There's a lot of devs that deserve to be there more than
Yes.
others, but they're all equally committed to the whole thing, I think. So there shouldn't be layoffs the way they handled it, like they did. And the last time they did it, even worse.
it rather felt pretty random, to be honest. What I wanted to say about bugs, I didn't say like fix every bug in the game. You obviously can't do that, but fix the critical ones that like disturb gameplay.
The game breaking
most.
works.
And to be honest,
Game
when I
breaking.
play infantry and I play heavy, and then you shoot a decimator and you get the reload animation, it just kind of fucks you over. I mean, you can just shoot, but it's just like you think you reload your gun, you swap to, and then like you need some seconds, and these seconds are like vital to survive most of the time, and then you just die because you can't react quickly enough, and stuff like that. And like same thing if I like drive a Harrison on SME and I have like 120 FPS in an area and it feels like sub 30, like it's not really appealing to play. Like those kind of things. I don't expect the game to be perfect, obviously, same with balancing, but like the things I want first to make the game should run well so you can enjoy the gameplay. If the gameplay is cool but the game doesn't run well, then I'm not really tempted to play.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah, there's 3 things that Planetside has, and it's big fights, good gameplay, and good gun mechanics, and they just have to use it.
No, they have actually more than that. They also have like they have this thing that like no other game can achieve. That's like you can drive tanks, fly, and play infantry at the same time on the same map with like everybody in one place.
Literally
That's
every
like-
other game can do that.
Oh yeah, really.
Yeah, Call of
Tell me.
Duty, Battlefield, they're all
Okay, tell me
ground
if you can fly out of a warp gate Call of Duty and just go somewhere in the middle of nowhere and have some dogfights with somebody.
The thing is, there's no warp gate, but yeah, you can dogfight
Okay.
with other pilots in
you
Battlefield.
can fly in circuits in Battlefield. That's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean. Like, the general idea is Planetside is known for the amount of players it has, the good gameplay. Like, you can do anything you want in a game. You can drive in ants, you can fly around, you can build. You can
The whole
fight on
sandbox idea, you mean?
infantry.
By
Yeah,
the way,
pretty much.
remove bases.
Pretty much one of the things that's kept me in the game so long is that you can play pretty much any role you want and still contribute.
Mhm.
There's a lot of versatility, yeah. I see a comment from Securus. Sadly, PS franchise is going to die, and we can't change it. I have seen some comments from players or people, even from developers. Hey, let's just sell the franchise to a better company.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Find
please.
better company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better company. Hey, let's go to EA.
No, I don't want DLCs.
EA.
Shit.
It's in the
John
box.
Smedley, Amazon Games.
The thing is with selling the like Planetside and the Forge Light engine all to a separate company is Forge Light is proprietary, isn't it? It was developed in house, so
For sure, yeah.
yeah. So you gotta have the skill base to support that, right? You gotta have people who know what they're doing with it. It's not like anybody buys Planetside and they go, all right, we got this Unreal game, let's get in some Unreal devs and we'll take it from there. So I think if it's going to go to somebody, somebody mentioned Intrepid, isn't there people from Sony who worked with the engine in Intrepid? Like that would probably be the best bet, I think. You know, you need the existing skill base to work with this. You can't just plug this into another
The thing is,
publisher or company.
if they're gonna sell this whole franchise to another company, the smartest thing that the other company can do is rehire the people that were working on it, or at
Yes.
least the core element.
There's a problem with that though, in that people will have moved on. You know, say in 6 months, a year, 2 years, whenever it happens, the people who worked on Planetside will be situated in other positions, and they're not
Yeah,
likely to
definitely.
move on. You know,
Yeah.
so our best sort of bet, if we want it to be looked after, is somebody like Intrepid, where there are people who worked with it before. You know,
Isn't
Amazon.
Interpret known from Ashes of Creation?
I'm not even sure if it is Intrepid, but I don't know. I think I heard that they had some people from Daybreaker SOE in them.
I saw like a Twitch clip from somebody saying, well, guys, you're welcome if you want to come, if you're from Daybreak. But according to Drew, it's one of the worst companies to work at, to sell to. So.
Celta, okay. Why would that be, Drew? Could you expand on that?
By the way, Drew, feel free to join in if you want to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
there's still a spot below my name. We can
Yes.
Split in half.
ENZAK is already
No,
way
you
too
don't wanna
big,
be
so...
there. You don't want to be there. It kind of stinks, I heard. Nah, it stinks, I heard.
No.
There's one thing I'd like to interject here.
Sure.
I'm looking into trying to get some support for Planetside 2. I'm not sure if anybody here is familiar with Ross Scott. If you've ever
No.
seen like Freeman's Mind, Civil Protection, a lot of different Machinima, Half-Life 2 based videos. But he's also a Planetside 2 player, and he's got 250,000 subscribers. So I've reached out to him and let him know if there's problems that the community can use his support. And if anybody else is aware of large YouTubers, I know that Level Cap Gaming has done some Planetside 2 content in the
Soviet
past.
Bumble as well.
Yeah.
So one of the problems that we have in general, or we had in general, is that we had a lot of new players coming in, but we didn't keep them. So we had on the magnitude of 1,000 new players a day joining the game and coming into the game, but we weren't keeping them at all. And part of that is our fault, and part of that is the community's fault, and the fact that like the viciousness of the community and the viciousness of the game kind of prevented a lot of those players from sticking. Something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's true for pretty much any multiplayer game.
Yes.
I'm
Mm,
gonna say,
especially-
in Planetside 2's defense, the community here is a lot better about that than some other games I've played.
It depends on which servers you're playing on, for example. Like there were multiple times where streamers would join and play and would be griefed to no end by certain.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that really did prevent a lot of new players showing up and sticking around, and those streamers never came.
Hmm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is true, and I've seen that kind of.
Yeah, I can imagine like back when Summit was trying to get into it, he just got stream sniped left and right. So it's really a double-edged sword, the Planetside community.
Wouldn't say that's specific to just Planetside though. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of just streaming in general. You know,
Humanity.
yeah, humanity is a good way to put it. Yeah.
I need
I'd like to
attention.
say that Drew did say he stream snipes, so the devs were doing it too.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean,
Didn't somebody dare stream snipe, like one of the devs stream sniped Affleck?
But then again, you can think of it as they're friends with Affleck as well, and like, who cares really?
Yeah,
If you
I
get
know.
stream
It was more of
sniped
a
and it's
joke.
like a friend of you, like,
It
come
was
on.
more of a joke than anything else.
Yeah.
By the way, Drew, who came up with the whole mentor squad ID? The
It was originally Rel.
okay.
I think, and really, Julian, I've said this a lot lately, but I really do think that Rel gets a lot more flack than he really deserves. And he spends
Yes.
way more hours on this game than I think anybody else even bothered to, or even like understood how much he spent time on. I mean, he would be showing up at work hours before everybody else and leaving pretty much around the same time everybody else did. He was definitely putting in a lot more time than the rest of us in terms of actually improving himself and improving the game. The fact that we didn't have really artists or resources that we really needed, he basically took up the slack for a lot of those and ended up basically learning how to do everything. There were a lot of times where he was spending most of his day on making new weapons or doing modifications or trying to do new animations with the resources that he had. So
So yeah, Rel took way too much flack than he deserved, to be honest. Like, yeah.
But
If
I
I-
think
Everybody's like, hey, he's the YouTuber in the dev team. Why is like he did YouTube? He has no like qualifications. What the fuck? And then
everybody is just jealous of like it. Imagine being able to do that, get hired by a company that you love, and always played the game.
also,
I'm
someone
gonna
mentioned
say-
it earlier, but we had no note. We were told basically 10 minutes before that we were getting laid off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
What the heck?
It sucks.
Welcome to the United States.
Phew.
Yeah,
Was it-
at-will companies are pretty brutal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's actually holy fuck.
Then I'm
Was
happy
it was
that
it also bring your
really-
daughter to the work day that day?
No,
or-
no, no.
Oh, okay.
No,
I saw that comment. That was
I
like,
saw that
wow.
as well.
Burness made a statement about that, and that was interesting. But I think that probably happened in 2014 or 2016, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Also, the comments about performance. Who do you expect to fix that? You know, I mean, that's one of the big questions, and that's one of the big questions we had a lot. Was you have, in terms of our team, you had basically a associate programmer who was much better than associate, but and then you had a programmer who had worked on AI, and that's one of his biggest things in general for 2K or not 2K. For Heroes of New Earth, was Paul's basically greatest thing. Who do you expect to fix Forge Light Engine, which is this massive engine that nobody understands how it works? It's one of the big problems with this game is that it's on an engine that is incredibly complicated, doesn't really make sense, and is a few 100 million lines of code.
Wow.
Where do you go from there?
million, holy fuck. That's a lot.
Well, Drew, you worked earlier on World of Tanks. Did they also use their own proprietary engine, or?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And such an engine, was it running better than the Forge Light, in your opinion?
No, God no.
No, it's just.
That game, we had to upgrade our unannounced game. We had to upgrade all of our playtest computers to 1080s with 32 gigs of RAM for it to even run over 30 FPS.
Wow.
So just things to think about, I think, in the long run. Like, yeah, we definitely could have done things better. We definitely could have done more in general, and we wanted to. But with the amount of resources that we were given and the amount of resources that were just on staff, there's very little you can really do in a lot of these situations.
I see.
Drew, question for you.
Sure.
In general, were you guys left to your own devices, or was there like a lot of micromanagement from management, or?
Here and there, we definitely were very aware of the amount of money that we were making and paying attention to having to monetize things. I think the biggest thing that came in for us was the originally we were basically told to just do an extra 10 battle ranks to incentivize, and we said no. We didn't want to do that, so we ended up coming up with the ASP system as a secondary method of doing. But that was one of the few things that we were forced to do on high. I think Planetside Arena as a whole suffered a lot more from a lot of the other.
Oh, good to know. Thank you.
I read like a comment from B-Burns that they were talking about golden bullets. That didn't come up with Planetside 2, or?
I don't think Golden Bolts was ever a concept in Planetside 2.
Okay.
Good.
Who knows?
Because
No,
that's
I-
like the number one thing I point to in like terrible monetization in games is those
I
golden
feel like
bullets.
that's a nod to World of Tanks, honestly, because that was
Yeah.
World of Tanks' biggest selling point, and it's probably one of their most sold items in World of Tanks.
Hmm. That's also what I admire about Planetside too. That even though it's free to play, it is not. I don't think it's pay to win. At least in my opinion.
We
No.
definitely worked really hard, especially with NSO, to make sure that it wasn't pay to win, because we didn't want that to be basically a staple of the game.
That's
That's just
something Planetside achieved pretty good in my opinion. That it's like it never was pay to win, like never.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was play to win, not pay to win.
Like about the friendliness to new players, I think there could have been a couple things that have been done better. Like maybe
Oh,
give
absolutely. There
them-
was definitely more that we could have done. We just didn't have time to do it. More than
Let me
anything
ask,
else.
what was the number
Just-
one thing you would have done for new players?
Realistically, what I would have personally done for new players is I would have done something similar to how Eve did it, where I would have created new player outfits, or in smaller versions of that, to get people into communities a lot faster. Because there's
you
a
mean
lot
like-
of studies that were done to that show basically that new player retention skyrockets the moment that you get new players into communities.
You're talking about
So-
like the NPC corporations. That's
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So something similar to that, but to introduce people to outfits and introduce people to communities, because I think that's the single most important part of the game.
It's a really
Yeah,
hard part of the
definitely.
game as well.
It is absolutely.
Because I mean, as I started playing the game, it was way easier because there were way many more players to like get into a community because there were a lot of them. But nowadays, it's like it's really hard to get into like a community that is playing a lot because
Bacon, I
can
see your
rarely
comment, by the
find-
way. It depends entirely. Like I've seen people who are phenomenal vehicle players basically just pull out their uncerted vehicles and slaughter anybody who isn't. I think that that's kind of a misnomer in terms of how people can really do with their skill.
I mean, the vehicle comparison. Let's take ESFs. That's like
Yeah.
super easy to see. If you put a veteran ESF player against a new player in ESF, the veteran player will easily dispatch the new player, even if the new player has a fully certed ESF. The other guy doesn't have anything.
Exactly.
even though if you have a Banshee like in an airfighter, we would still win because it's
Same
just a game
thing.
experience.
Same thing with infantry. Like you don't need all the stuff you need, like all the stuff you get.
It's
Same
just
thing with
more
tanks.
comfortable to play it if you have it.
It's more like you're able to do that 20 kill streak way easier than if you didn't have your 4 med kits or whatever. That's the only difference, but it's possible. There's no difference really. Like I don't see having more certs or having more accessibility to stuff as a unfairness. It's just the other players have played way longer than you.
It's especially in infantry like that, like
I
especially.
mean, obviously comes from no matchmaking.
Yeah.
Also partly because it's some sort of MMO, right? I mean, you want some sort of progression and unlocking new weapons, new other things. That's
It
What
wouldn't
an
be fun
MMO
if you get everything from day one. That's just
Yes,
arena.
you need something to like work on where you want to go.
And
Like
that's literally what directives are doing for
Yes.
a lot of players. They want to
But-
finish the next thing.
What about doubling XP for like the first 30 VRs? Something like that, you know, something that makes it much easier for them to
I
climb that
mean,
ladder.
they're giving them 100 certs now, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's only to
Yeah, you're
15, and that's not that
No,
nah,
much.
it's
No,
the
Up to
level
100.
that changed that.
It's all the way.
Yeah, they changed it.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I lost like 80,000 certs on it. Was oof. It was really
You deserve
ouch.
it, don't worry.
Oh, okay. I have a question from somebody that wants to know, Drew, why is the arena game, Planetside Arena, why did it become a battle royale instead of the other promised game modes? If you know anything about it.
From what I understand, the Planetside Arena as a whole was originally pitched, and it was kind of the fundamental game that the higher ups wanted to see. There was a lot of testing done for new modes and whatnot, and we definitely saw a lot of different modes kind of be prototyped but never finished. And then the idea of it was to come out with 500-man games and those kinds of things. But I don't think we ever got to that point just because of some of the other stuff that was going on.
I'm just curious, is it a game you enjoy playing, personally?
Oh yeah, I love it. I think it's
okay.
actually a lot of fun.
Yeah?
I think the action is a lot better for that versus other battle royales, realistically.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah,
like the game, but of course, tastes differ.
Yeah, I've said before that like for other problems I had with Arena, it got a lot closer to what I like as far as battle royale than most other games of the genre.
I just think where they went wrong is launching a battle royale with a high amount of players requires a high amount of players from the start, and they didn't have that. And I think if they would have gone the route of developing more of the arena types, we said like TDM and whatever, like the whole Massive Clash, if they went that route, got a little bit more popularity, and like maybe a big release in 2020 or whatever they said, I think that would have been a better approach to the whole thing that went on. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't the design team's decision, I think is what I'm trying to say without saying.
Okay. Would you recommend... No, that was asked that. It's a bit too personal.
What, would I recommend PSA?
No. If you would recommend to work at Daybreak Games.
Yeah, I'm actually interested.
I think you don't have to answer that.
I think that working at Daybreak Games, the teams as a whole are phenomenal. I think that the people that you work with are excellent people. I think that 4 layoffs in 2 years is quite a bit and kind of a good reason to not because of how unstable it is at that point. When I came into the office the first time, they were having issues finding places to put people because they had so many people at the office. Now it felt like a graveyard at the end. So.
Okay. Thanks. I have a question
and
for
all of those
of
layoffs,
yeah?
by the way, all of those layoffs are documented, so I'm not breaking any.
Yeah.
I've got a question for all of you right now. What should be, in your opinion, the next step for Planetside? Should it be merging servers, or what can help the game go forward?
I think server merges would help, but I think probably the best step for the small team they have is to work on like the core experience, the moment-to-moment gameplay of the game. There's a lot of things in it that like don't really gel. Like the Ur guys were saying, you know, Ur's just something you kind of suffer as infantry, you know. A tank on a hill is just something you suffer as infantry as well. So I think there could be more things done to round out the experience and make it more appealing. And I think that would be a good place for such a small team to try and bring it forward, you know.
Mm-hmm. I also think community, like we want like conversations with the devs more, that they tell us, hey, this is what we're gonna do between this and the next year. Like that's all we want. We just want a dream to keep playing a little bit.
Oh, I'd love to have more conversations with you guys, but I don't work there anymore.
I mean, you can still talk with us as a player.
Yeah.
What I wanted to
honestly,
say about
there's
server
one
matches. Yeah, keep on.
Yeah, there's one thing we all kind of agree on, that Drew is like the go-to developer when you want to have a real talk about the game without, like, you know.
Yeah.
Some sort of yes.
Yeah.
I think Rel is good to talk to. It's just sometimes it's hard to get to him, especially since there's so many other people talking to him and flaming him and all those things. It makes him very defensive, and so it's very difficult to have conversations with him.
That's what I want to say as well. It's like really hard to get to Rel after all the flank he's getting. He's like, I think he's getting really careful with whom he's talking to and everything.
To be honest, if you want to talk with him, like just like I used to drop him just a personal message with some suggestions.
I love you, Rel. I love you, buddy.
Hey, Rel, welcome.
Personally,
I miss you, Rel. I'm gonna see.
I mean, that's what I like about the Planetside dev team as well, the previous dev team. Even I could send a message to Nick Silva and he would respond. Like, he takes us seriously as well. All of you guys take us seriously, so took us seriously, or whatever. that's just... We always keep complaining about community interaction, but I don't think there is much to complain about. Sometimes maybe there are decisions that you disagree with. Well, there's always a thing, I guess.
You know, people like to complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the thing
that's
is,
just in
people-
nature.
People only get loud if they want to complain, because otherwise, why should they get loud? Because if everything is working great, why would you say anything? There will never be a Reddit post
Yeah.
about
That's why the
about, hey, the
DroPodcast
game is
here."
working great.
Drama.
That will never happen. There will always be like, oh yeah, the game runs shit because of blah blah blah. There will never be a
Even-
post like,
yeah.
yeah, it runs good.
Even if you look like back in, a lot of people say, I just want the game back of 2014, and then you go back and see like there were like pretty much the same amount of people complaining about different things back then. So
Yeah, but that is
Just-
just Reddit. You don't look
Yes,
at Reddit. For
this is
help.
just Reddit.
I don't look at Reddit.
It is
Yeah.
toxic.
A good thing that you don't.
Just don't look at Reddit.
Yes. Reddit is a place of a lot of people that think they have a lot of like.
They
Brain
just think they're
cells.
the best at everything. But hey,
I had a topic, but I lost it for now. Want to talk about anything? Just go ahead.
I don't
No, you don't know anything? No.
like what? Rel is in the chat right now, so like maybe we can talk about what we expect from the future, or not really expect, but what we
would wish.
what we wish the team would do.
Yes.
Because like
Uh,
we all are with the expectations of like, there's like 2 people left. We know they're not gonna do like new continents and whatever, because we're not stupid. It's impossible to do that.
Oh, sure, with 2 people, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to realign on Monday, so then we will know
Gonna
more.
reinvent Planetside.
Like,
Oh,
I think the
realign.
big question is if you guys are gonna do a dev stream soon, maybe something. Maybe not a stream, just a statement about what's the idea you're gonna do in the future. Like, I think that's like right now, Planetside is kind of looking like, hey, where are we going? What are we doing?
You want
Because
some
now it's
direction, is what you're saying.
No, I just want like them to kind of grab the community and say like, hey, we're not dead yet. Like, keep going.
Yes.
Rel's definitely not dead. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
At least, guys, were confirmed. The one thing I can say is that Planetside 2 isn't going anywhere. So,
Hell yeah, that's what we
that
want.
is all we needed to know.
That's
That
what
is
we want.
all we needed to know.
Just put it on Reddit and we'll all upvote it. Let's go.
Let's go.
I have a question for
Everybody's
Drew.
gonna download it.
Let's go.
Who's got a question?
Yeah. So, what kind of held you guys back from using PTS to have us test things first, and like when we asked for it? Was there something in general that held you guys back?
I think a lot of it was timing in general for us and the amount of work that we were doing on this stuff. So there were definitely times where we did use PTS, and we like, especially with the most recent vehicle update and things like that. Like, it's been on PTS for a week and two. I don't know how long it's actually been on there, but the amount of work that went into it prior to that was quite a bit, and the amount of time it takes for us to do a lot of stuff was quite a bit. So I definitely think we all, as a dev team, wanted to use PTS more, and I think going forward there'll be a lot more use of it. But at least from our perspective, it was very hard to do that and then also get things out in a pretty decent timing.
I know that there was at least one major update where a number of big streamers and content creators were looking forward to like organizing on the PTS and testing things, and then all of a sudden it was in live, and everyone was like, "What happened? Why didn't we get a chance to check it out?"
For example, there were things like DX11 that I think probably could have stayed on there a little bit longer, but realistically, a lot of the testing stuff in general, like, we didn't feel like, or at least I didn't. I'm not speaking for the team. This is more me, but I didn't feel like in a lot of ways that like we could really get a lot of people to play on those. There were some times where I was trying to get construction tests and things like that in order to actually get a lot of these things done, and really truly I couldn't get more than maybe 15 people to do it, and you need a lot more than that to really do a lot of the testing that we were supposed to do, so that we wanted to do.
But the original DirectX 11 test went pretty well in the PTS, didn't it? Like a
It
lot of
crashed the
people.
server, so...
Yes, it went so well. Yeah. Well, you had
That's
like
actually a
close
bad
contact
thing.
with many Jaeger players, right? So you tested over there with them as well.
Yeah, here and there, and we definitely got a lot of feedback on that. There were still some things that went live that we didn't even see coming, like we didn't anticipate in terms of what we saw and those kinds of things as well. And so there was a lot of scrambling. I definitely feel like we could have done DX11 better, but at the same time, we needed to get it out.
Yeah. Like, I think it was announced for December, and then it got delayed and delayed, and
Such as life,
Really?
working on a live game where everything is on fire. I mean, that's really like the truth of it is a lot of the time that you would like to do new features and content and things like that is a lot of it is spent on maintenance and trying to fix a lot of problems that come up out of nowhere and things.
You also made the EverQuest event, right? Is it a lot of work to do?
It was not that much work, but I think it was about 3 weeks straight of me working on stuff, and that was a few things that I had never really done before, so I learned a lot about like how to actually do a lot of this stuff.
Oh.
And I did hand place all the shinies, which was a lot of fun for me as well, and I think that it got some good traction on it. So.
The shinies that stuck around for weeks.
Nobody saw that.
They saw
No.
it and they enjoyed it more. That's all that is.
Now, the thing is, I came to places where I normally never came, so that was
That
fun.
was kind of the point of it, honestly, was to put up places where looked pretty and looked interesting and was.
I mean, that's for that the game is that old. It still looks pretty good, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that for that is like so old. It's like still like really good.
Depends on how
really
you play the
unique.
game. If you play on potato mode,
If you play Punisher mode, obviously not.
What?
Stop playing potato. Play fucking Max.
Potatoes best.
Play on Ultra.
it's not.
No balls.
I always play Ultra.
I played on Ultra like for like
Challenge
2
by
hours or something. It's like, oh.
I want
Okay.
Imp Hunter to do a live stream playing only full Ultra with motion blur.
I will do
Oh.
that for you. I will make that happen.
Oh, motion blur though. That's
I'd get sick.
yeah, me too.
It's gonna be great. Let me know when you do it, alright?
All right, I'll get it done, mate. I'll get it done.
Oh my god.
Are you going to stream yourself a bit more as well, Drew? Or
I may. We'll see. I have
Cool.
I have 2 weeks off before I start really moving into my next jobs.
you already got a job?
I do, yes.
Oh wow.
Can you reveal
Okay,
anything about
that's
it?
really cool.
I will tell people more about it on my Twitter once I have signed the official document.
Nice one.
Oh, nice.
Well done. Well
Congrats, then.
Oh, congratulations.
congrats,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
That's
congrats.
good to hear.
I can type in chat what it is, but I'm not gonna say it out loud on VOD.
done.
It's what they call plausible deniability.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, very nice. Very
Wow.
nice. Yeah.
That's cool. You guys will hear later for the guys watching right now.
So, yeah. Then I guess I have
Spoilers.
everything works out for you.
I do too. It'll be fun.
Oh, that's actually nice. Okay.
I was just saying, ENZAK saying.
See,
it
that
was
message
nice
doesn't
complaining about
exist.
coding.
Poof.
What message?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Boom.
it's awesome.
How close were you with the PSA team?
Shadow Blade.
Oh no. Screen
I should
cap.
have played it as well.
No.
How close were we? I mean, we talked a lot. We worked together quite a bit in a lot of ways. I got a lot of their players to do the pre-beta, the pre-alpha kind of testers, and brought a lot of those people in.
And during the implementation of DirectX 11, were there people coming from the PSA team as well to help, or how did that work?
We definitely got help from other engineers and coders. There was core tech team, and we got a lot of help from them as well. That was a nightmare. It took 6 months.
I can understand. And also, like bringing those things to PS4, is that something you were used to as well? Developing things for PS4? Or?
Not personally. I've only ever worked on stuff for PC, so on the data side at least, it didn't really change too much in terms of what we had to do, but the code side definitely had a lot more to do in terms of going to PS.
I'm curious. Do you know what led to the decision to go to the PS4 instead of like say the Xbox? Because
I have no idea. That was way before my time.
Okay,
I think that was a SMED decision, wasn't it?
I can't remember that far back.
Neither can I. I can't remember yesterday, so that's because I'm drunk. But that's different. I'm not actually drunk. I'm drinking.
I don't even have that excuse. So
Maybe we can change that.
Yeah, that's later.
Planetside, the podcast after dark. How we do it.
Get
Back
away
Get
from
drunk,
the
play
gentleman's
golf.
club.
And some more thing. You Drew, you were playing with B-Way in the past and with other communities. Is it hard to be a developer and also part of the community? I mean,
Definitely sometimes. I mean, I was trying to embed myself in the community because I knew that. First off, I came to the game with very little hours, so I didn't really have the understanding and perception of what Rel had, for example. Like Rel has some 1,000 hours. I don't know how many. I think it's like 2 or 3, maybe 5. I don't have that, so I had to kind of learn really fast. So part of it for me was getting into groups that both taught and played at a high level, and so I could kind of understand how things were going. Now, definitely there were times where my ideas and thought processes were swayed by these people, but a lot of it's very difficult coming into a lot of those things. You spend a lot of time getting ideas thrown at you, quite a bit. The amount of times there was one time where I asked a question of someone at 4 p.m. and woke up the next morning with 126 messages from them. So why do you think I stayed offline always? Was just because it was to try and mitigate a lot of the just constant badgering, and I imagine Rel got quite a bit more than that as well. So again, props to Rel. I have so much faith and so much yeah.
I mean, you're running with the only guys that actually seen him work, so I think we need to trust you in your word. But how is it, by the way, to have worked with Roxley? How she's an
Roxy was
person?
great.
Yeah.
Fucking love Roxy. She's fucking great. She worked above and beyond basically everything that she ever needed to do, and she was working on both of the EverQuests and our game, and for a while I think she was working on DCUO or some other things as well. So I mean, she was basically working everything at once and did phenomenal job. So
cool.
I think every dev did a phenomenal job at some point because I mean it's still a big game, so
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think there should be props to every single dev.
No, like after you told me it's like 1 million or a couple 100 million lines, like holy fuck, that's insane.
Yeah, to find those.
Yeah, I mean there were
hard.
even systems that like didn't actually do anything. I mean there was one where, realistically it kind of caused a problem. But back in October of last year, you guys remember all of the log out disconnect things.
Yes.
That was because we found a system that didn't actually interact with any other lines of code. When we removed it, it crashed everybody. So we didn't realize that was going to happen because there was no reason it should have, but it did. So
good old spaghetti code.
Welcome to programming.
I think Paul's favorite quote about programming is that your first language of programming that you learn is profanity. You swear a lot.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm learning programming right now, and I can totally say it, totally agree on that one.
Yeah.
I've done just enough coding myself to know. Yeah.
Spending more time in a debugger than anything else.
Yeah.
It's literally what we're doing.
Terrible.
I'm just curious, isn't there right now a Planetside Arena event going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
How
I
many
see Cardo in
players?
game, so
Interesting. For anyone that still wants to play, right now is the chance. I mean, normally you don't really get full lobbies, so install that game, try it out.
Drew,
huh? What?
do you know like how many players play like Planetside Arena actually like on Steam? Like percentage for this?
Not off the top of my head, and even if I did, I don't think I could talk about it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the review bombing was really disappointing to watch, honestly. I don't feel like it was like the reason why there were problems, but I think realistically that it was pretty bad. The fact that we were at mostly negative, and then you switch to 1 hour of reviews, like people who've played with 1 hour, and suddenly it jumps up to like a 75% positivity rate. I mean, that's really disappointing to see, especially coming from the community as a whole. So
I mean, I had to say I was pretty harsh on the game at first as well, but I played it and it was actually kind of fun. So
yeah, I
enjoyed
think
it.
that was one of the comments that I heard a lot from a lot of different people, where they were really really harsh on the game before it came out. And then they spent a little bit of time, played it, and went, "Wow, this is actually quite." And I really do wish people had given it more of a chance than just waiting for 10 seconds, review bombing it negatively, and then going off and doing other things.
Let's say I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but the time I spent on it, I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't played yet since beta.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
So ENZAK is the reason why the game failed.
And the
No,
game dev
the
thanks to
reason-
you.
The reason is literally the internet here.
Yeah,
It's
Bullshit.
no,
really
it's just unfortunate. I think that it could have done a lot better, and I think that the game as a whole didn't really deserve a lot of the negativity that it got from a lot of the Planetside players. I think a lot of people were just they were negative about it because it wasn't Planetside 3 or because it wasn't what they wanted to see out of the game. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
There
yeah,
was a lot of
it shares the name
flagging.
Planetside, and they think like if a real Planetside game should have factions and should have this and that, so they feel cheated. But
Yes.
yeah, it's just a name.
People
A lot
just
of-
gotta stand open for new things.
What I heard a lot is like, it doesn't have the same mechanics as Planetside. Bah, bah. I'm like, what the fuck? It's not the same game. So
it has
just
almost
give it-
identical mechanics in a lot of ways, actually. But that's
Yeah, but like
up on
not
its
the
own.
vehicle mechanics and everything.
I mean,
That's
it's
true.
very similar though.
Like the infantry mechanics are pretty similar, yes. But,
Except
like,
for the time to
no
kill.
vehicles and everything, and everybody's like, that's not Planetside. I'm like, yeah, it's not Planetside
I mean,
because it doesn't want to be.
It's so similar that some hacks from Planetside 2
Oh
even
god.
still work.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
So yeah.
The thing with Arena for me was I like Battle Royale games, but as soon as the third person camera was put into it, that kind of killed my interest in it. I just
Yeah,
kind
I
of
can
stepped
understand
back
that.
from it then.
I
I'm gonna say
definitely, when I was playing it, I wouldn't run third person at all, and I really felt like it was just fine, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you could change your own perspective, but if you did that, then you were at an objective disadvantage versus.
I didn't feel like it was that much of a disadvantage, to be honest.
Like if somebody knows how to use the peak of the third person, like I got third person peaked by daimios a few times, and it was like, oh, that's, you know.
I'm gonna say it was better in Arena than it is in most other battle royale games because of the speed of the gameplay, how much movement there is. You wouldn't really pin down nearly as much as in like PUBG or something like that.
One thing I will say about Arena that you guys like got just right off the bat was dropping with weapons was fantastic in a battle royale
yeah.
game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, agree.
That and removing shotguns, I think, was a really good
Yeah.
decision.
100%. Hate shotguns.
You hate everything, Imp.
I
so,
hate
you know,
everything, and heavies are for virgins. Oh.
What
Damn.
about Max as an infiltrator?
Infiltrators.
I don't know. I have a lot of salt, but yeah, I mean, I'm still here playing. I'm still here making content.
Everybody has a lot of salt.
I love it.
It's all good.
I mean, I'm gonna see. Maybe Planetside Arena gets revived. I think they still have the biggest dev team, if I'm correct.
Well, we'll see how it all goes on Monday. I think that's the big question.
Yeah, if there's any realignment reveals.
I'm wondering, was there ever a chance that Planetside Arena could have been folded into a game mode for Planetside 2? Or was it just always destined to be a separate entity?
I don't think it would have been smart to do that, personally. I think that it wouldn't have made sense to basically put something that big new into a 7-year-old game, really. It needed to be its own separate thing in order to kind of garner more attention.
Agree. Also, I think the Planetside player base would have still saying like, hey, this is Battle Royale, this is not what we want in Planetside 2, so the toxicity would have been the same, only the review bombing would have been less, maybe.
There wouldn't have been review bombing because
No.
it wouldn't have been on Steam. But
Oh, Planetside 2 is on Steam, right?
that's
Oh.
true.
I mean, it already has all the reviews, so it's not really impacting anything.
And
That's
you
true.
wouldn't review bomb your own game. Like,
Yeah.
You
I don't
say
think people
that.
would review bomb.
You
It's-
say that.
It's happened. It's happened.
I wouldn't put it past certain parts of the community, realistically.
Yeah.
Faber, I think the question that just got posted is the most important question.
Okay, let me...
There's a lot of them now.
No.
So I got a
the
question.
last-
How come Planetside 2 doesn't have fancy ads like the game does, like other game does? It feels like Planetside 2 is what a good population of gamers are looking for. They just never heard about it. You have an
What's
answer for
interesting
it.
is that the majority of people that I've ever talked to have played it at one point or another. The amount of churn that we've had of new players coming in and leaving, and new players coming in and leaving. I mean, like 90% of the people I have ever talked to in gaming have played Planetside at one point or another.
That's true.
So I don't think that it really needed a lot more advertising, and realistically, I don't think it was in a good enough state to do major advertising pushes, especially on the new player experience.
We're talking about
Player
Planetside 2?
experience is just oof.
Yeah,
Like, not in a good state? As in, the game feels too old, or...
people have issues with a lot of the game. The systems are pretty complex, and it's hard to kind of teach players how to actually run all the systems.
Yeah.
And it's very easy for a veteran player to just delete new players. So it's
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
always been like the biggest draw and the biggest problem of the game is that you can run into anybody at any point. There's no ranking.
there's no matchmaking. That's the
no.
big thing. So
I
it's
mean,
entirely possible to run up against the 2-time lane smash champion, but you know,
I mean, I remember
you
the
could
first
be a
time.
new player.
I mean, the first time I played, I got drop potted behind a tech plant and I got killed while I was trying to figure out the settings. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but I stuck with it. A lot of people aren't going to though.
I was more
Awkward.
interested in the hair products, by the way, Faber.
This is all natural sweat. So.
Damn.
Oh, I know. But, Coltier was meant to fix this, to fix matchmaking some sort of. Yeah, at least get people to basic level until better rank 15, but then you have a problem that every other free-to-play game has, and that is that smurfing happens. People can make new accounts, people can... Well, if it's a pay-to-play game, that might happen a bit less, but it happens in League of Legends, in
It
Fortnite.
happens in
much
Counter-Strike
less.
almost entirely, and
Oh, yeah.
Counter-Strike is a pay-to-play game. Well, I mean, it was. I guess it isn't anymore, but
Yeah.
even
I
so.
mean,
Even back in the
if you
day.
don't pay, you play with cheaters, so it's kind of still.
Well, I mean, if you
Yeah.
pay, you still play with cheaters, but that's...
Uh,
Oh yeah, even fabled VAC can't stop all the cheaters. You still see
I think-
plenty of them in CS:GO.
I don't know if Rel is still here, but like I think one thing I really don't understand about Planetside 2 is why they are using Battle Eye. It's not doing anything. Like,
You think
I'll-
it's not doing anything.
yeah, okay, maybe like the heavy stuff, but like I know so many people that cheat in this game. I mean, I don't know, but you just see it, and there's better alternatives than this. Like, in my opinion, at least. But
Do you know any examples of better anti-cheat mechanics?
the what's it called? The one Epic is using or whatever. I don't know.
Epic Games.
No. Fuck, I forgot the name. But yeah,
Anyway,
Same on stream, ENZAK. Who do you think's cheating? Let's go.
The same one that's using the developers from Squad that are, I don't know if you know the game. They're using Easy Anti-Cheat, I think it's
Yeah.
called. I would say it's better, but yeah. Who do you think is cheating? I don't know. There's a lot of people.
You got time. You're on stream. Shout them
I
out.
know. I'm not gonna shout them out, but I know there's a lot of people.
Ooh, it is drama podcast time again. So
And I'm
ENZAK
not.
just
I'm not calling out the good people. I'm calling out like there's a group of good people. You know, every day they play, they're good. And then
I
there's
guess.
this random new guy that's like 2 days playing
Yeah.
Planetside, and he's all of a sudden the best guy in the world. Like, hey,
This Imp
I
Hunter
guess.
guy, I think he's cheating for sure.
yeah, I'm very suspicious.
I already came out my stream
Have
earlier
you-
today. It's Decimator Hex,
Oh,
boys. I use
you
Decimator
came out?
Hex.
Congrats.
Finally.
Hit me up anytime, Drew. Hit me up.
Yeah, I'll tap that.
Let's make it happen.
What am I witnessing?
Don't worry about it.
You're witnessing love.
Oh.
Kind of funny as well. Since Drew came in, I see a lot of OO messages and Nia.
Yeah, you know, here and there.
You're popular at least. That's good to know. Well, guys, do you have anything you still want to talk about? Because I'm out of topics.
Maybe there's
Fun
more
update.
questions.
Drew,
Yeah.
what is the most enjoyable thing for you in Planetside? Like to play?
Ooh.
Oh, to play?
Yes.
The most enjoyable thing that regular players can do, or the most enjoyable thing that I can? Because that is a difference.
Regular players.
Okay.
Like if you come into the game as a regular player, what's like the thing that you say?
Honestly, okay, I enjoy pushing like a complete moron the entire time, and so my favorite thing to do is run Tomoe with Silencer with Cat like Athlete
Sounds a fun combo. What the heck?
on Infiltrator and just push and push and push. It's like so much fun.
Fair enough.
The good thing is in Planetside you can always get revived, especially if you play with a
Yeah.
squad.
Absolutely.
But
I mean, it's super
What
fun.
about other people? Like, what do they enjoy playing?
Yeah,
Are there
go
any
on.
internal? Are there any internal charts of like the most used stuff?
Yeah, there totally is. Though, I don't know if those are up and running anymore. I'd say I'd check, but I can't.
Oh, feels bad, man. Fuck.
Playing them pity cards.
Oh.
How frustrating was Command Arms Initiative, if you're comfortable?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't there for it, to be honest. The backlash is really frustrating because I think that people kind of held on to that single point in time without really looking forward or looking backwards. And I think that they kind of use that as a scapegoat in general. It's actually really unfortunate because I think that once you get past that and you can kind of push that away and push away the vitriol from that, there were actually really good conversations to be had, and I had some pretty good conversations with some of the air players and some of the vehicle players and those kinds of things. Once we had kind of gotten past CAI, like CAI was always the first thing that came up, but once you got past that, suddenly it's like, okay, how do you actually, how do you actually like want to see this improve rather than just flaming us for it. I'm gonna shamelessly plug my Twitter. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Got a question from Ryak. What is the future of Planetside 2 like? Well, Rel just came in and he stated that Planetside 2 is not going anywhere. That's what we know so far. And Monday, there might be some more news. So
By the way,
keep your eyes peeled for that. And we got a more question. Give us golden ammo. Well, we will tell Rel.
Golden
Favor?
Yeah?
You might want to have a look at the picture I sent into the. There it is. I mean, the game still looks like pretty. So.
Oh, it's so gorgeous, dude.
I just made this like 2 seconds ago.
For
Yeah,
a
it's
game
so
that came out in
pretty.
2012, Planetside 2 is still beautiful.
It is. It's. I love to make some pictures like this because like it shows the beauty of the game. So perfect.
So for the should developers listen to the community or stick to its own direction? I think it's a bit of both. I feel like it's really smart to understand where your community is and kind of understand the pain points that are going on. And as a developer, you can't really do that without really getting to know the community and understanding them. But I do think that taking them word for word and doing exactly what they say is probably not the best idea.
I've said for a while, it's like what part of the community do you listen to? Do you listen to the vehicle players, the infantry, I mean, snipers, heavy assaults?
You kind of have to listen
Achievement.
to everything. You kind of have to listen to everything in order to get all of the feedback, and then kind of sort through the feedback yourself.
No. You listen to management.
No. You listen to Jaeger players.
Yeah.
So we're removing maxes, we're removing infiltrators, and buffing everything that Imp likes. Is what I'm hearing.
Yep, medic child class, boys. Let's go.
Medic's
I'm all
getting an
for-
overshield.
Oof.
Oh shit.
Carapace now doubled your health.
I'm trolling, by the way. I don't work on that, so I can't. Just nerf them. Forehead.
Light
Yeah.
assault rocket rifle now does the same damage as decimator for every rocket.
That's something I always find a bit frustrating about the current setup. Is like one fly boy can destroy an entire flight in 5 seconds, basically.
A helicopter can do that as well. It's not
yeah, I
only
was gonna
for-
say, the light assault can do the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helicopter that's something I really hate about like implementations. Like the helicopter was a really not the best idea, to say the least.
And on the
But it's-
flyby topic,
It's
basically,
really rewarding though if you manage to pull it off and kill like
You-
20 under you.
depends on the
The side you're on.
size of the battle. Like 1 to 12s, obviously, but any bigger battle, you can't fly anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible.
If you mean air to ground. There's also people always saying, "Oh, this is super easy," and why don't I
Well,
see more people
I-
having a
I invite them to try it with me. and
100
I want
plus
to hear them
Banshee
rage.
KD or 100 or like 3 KPM on the Banshee? I don't see that too often, and that's because a lot of people can't pull it off. But they're just frustrated getting killed by it because they can't really counter it. Like
The
if you
thing-
get Bansheed, you're dead.
Yeah, the
You
thing
can't
with
do
the
anything
whole
on
air game in Planetside right now is it's too hard to get into. Like you have too many people that have already been flying for like 500 to 1,000 hours, even more.
I tried it
And
with
then-
ENZAK.
Yeah,
And
I tried flying with you, and it's like all right if there's somebody with me, but if I were to choose between flying or going infantry,
Yeah.
any day I would pick infantry just because that's what I'm good at.
The
No,
thing is,
what
if
I-
you want to get into flying these days, you have to have somebody
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
have
knows what he's
somebody.
doing and to
Okay.
help you in any point in time
And-
if you like get into trouble.
To
If
be
you're
honest,
really
that
new
was the
into
same
that-
thing back in the days as well. And back in the days, it was way harder to get into fly like air game
There were more
because
people that could have helped you.
No, but now when you're
Yes,
flying,
but
like
now-
all the other people have unofficial pacts to each other, like, hey, we're not killing each other, and you're the only one flying in the middle of there, and they're just
it's like it has like always been like that. It's no different these days. And the only thing that changed is like that's actually easier now to get into flying because of all the stuff you get at the first few battle ranks. You have the radar that helps. Well, I guess it helps if you understand the flight system with it.
I don't
And
think it helped a lot.
I mean, I see a lot of people that
it
don't
doesn't
even
help when you get
react.
one clipped.
Yeah,
Nah, it
well,
doesn't.
well, I see people that don't react to it at all, even if you fly with nanites, and people see the hub pop up on 600 meters, and they just don't care, just fly in a straight line, because they don't understand how the flight system works and don't know how to counter react it. And
Radar was something that helped the good pilots, but didn't really help the people that wanted to get into it.
it's like the same. Well, it's like the same thing if you have some stuff like coyotes. Everyone can use stuff like that, and people that can fly can obviously use it better. Even though using coyotes is not really that hard, but
No.
like flying is still obviously hard to learn, and you're best off like asking someone that can actually fly to show you how it works. But to be honest, you still have anomalies on every continent 30 minutes, and you can just chain police Fs. And what I would advise everyone, if you want to try it, don't go into like in the middle of the bubble. That doesn't work because there are most of people just fly around like your territory and like far off the bubble, and then it should be easier because people focus around the bubble, and most of the people flying around it. And to be honest, there are not that many good pilots flying anymore, in my opinion. But my view is probably different because I can fly. But
I can see what you're doing here. You're just trying to get all the new people to fly to the middle of the map and then just feed you. Yeah. Don't listen to this guy, chat. This is not what you do. No,
Mhm.
actually, it's very true.
Yeah.
Also, something I was kind of curious about. I was looking at previous dev streams on the Twitch page, and they were gone. Like the last year of dev
Ro made a
streams.
comment on that on Discord yesterday.
Oh,
He
okay.
basically said that we had probably not done any highlighting of it, so it probably didn't get archived and saved, and so Twitch just did some maintenance and stuff, and so they probably just
Okay.
ended up deleting all of it. Wasn't
Okay.
us, so or wasn't them.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. Didn't know that. Good to know. I got a question from Benton asking, are heavy assaults too OP?
Yes.
Gotta toss that one too,
No.
Mr. Imp.
No.
They're not.
Fuck
No?
you, Imp.
No,
Okay,
fucking
fine.
heavy assaults, man.
Imp,
Fuck
get out of here.
infiltrators.
I hit
Yes.
I hit that.
Just
One
play
hit.
better, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
One hit kill resist shield mans that you can't see. Nope.
Auto
No,
sniper
those are
rifle.
bullshit too. Like, but no, I don't know. It just doesn't. Heavy assaults just don't sit well with me because they're attrition-based gameplay. You know, you will literally lose fights because your opponent has more hit points, and that just doesn't sit well with me at all. Like,
Sounds like Vanguards.
Sounds like Max's.
Sounds like Vanguard.
No, Moons, I'm still not giving the Butcher 500 rounds.
Damn.
Wasn't
That
there
was
a
actually
technical issue
something-
behind that?
It
I don't
wasn't
know.
possible or something. Like
Yeah.
At one point, it
would-
probably wasn't possible, but who knows at this point? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
this-
hearing at one point that if you tried putting all the rounds into one like virtual magazine, then somebody could just fire forever with an ammo pack next to them.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
A lot of bugs are pretty fun, to be honest.
Here and there. Though it's one of the things I've noticed, like, coming back with, I came back to EverQuest 2 for a bit. The things that people remembered were not really, like, the actual experiences. It was more the exploits and the bugs that they...
Yes.
And it's kind of funny, because people will then ask for bugless gameplay, and yet they don't actually want that. So.
Some bugs are like literally really fun. Like, for example, the twisted legs of the mech unit.
Yeah.
Nobody was hurt by that, but it looked so fucking funny.
I like the
I don't know. It
gyro.
made my knees ache just looking at it.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was
the-
like
I like
the
it.
medic revive bug, where, like, he's sitting there with his...
Oh, I
chest
still have to
between his
upload that. Yeah.
Does someone remember the gyro necks with the
oh
enemy
yes,
helmet? Those
of
were
course I
good.
do.
Mhm.
Or the people with the hurt back that like literally try to revive somebody and they look like really stupid.
And then you have the Max that's just crawling across the floor.
Yeah,
I
that's
figured out what was
good.
going on
And
with
then
that, by the way.
breakdancing. The breakdancing mech units are so good.
There's still that the crazy legs bug where somebody moves back and forth really quickly. Their legs
Yeah.
just kind of shoot out to the sides.
Oh,
Like
and
up
right
to their
now,
shoulders.
there's this bug when you shoot at an infiltrator as well that they just like move left to right in an instant.
The one thing that I would say is that the bugs that you guys see are significantly nicer than the bugs that we see usually.
I can imagine that.
We had one where the Valkyrie was literally just flat. I think it was a single.
Pizza
yeah.
time, it's scythe time.
It was basically a pizza Valk, and that was very confusing.
Let's make the Valk like a scythe, let's go.
Yeah, no.
Oh, can I ask what why the particular Valkyrie variant that could carry Maxes was canceled?
It wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready, and they just decided to drop it.
Wasn't ready in time, and there was a lot of bugs with it, and it was breaking a bunch of stuff, so we ended up cutting.
Fair enough.
Was Osher canceled?
Nope.
Were there like many work in progress projects just laying around?
Oh, there's so many of them just sitting there, yeah. I'm
Because
pretty
I
sure
know-
we still had the data from the old vehicle hacking that existed. I mean,
Oh,
there's
wow.
just a bunch of stuff that, like, we hadn't touched in a long time, and there was, you know, TBD work that hadn't been done, and,
Mm-hmm.
like, stuff from Higby, literally. Just all sorts of places.
Have you like touched the battle islands or?
I looked at them for a while. It was pretty cool stuff, but, I mean, there's only so much that we can do about it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Was there anything in particular you really wanted to work on but couldn't get around to?
I really wanted to do some outfit rework and outfit stuff in general. I think outfits are really smart, and they were just kind of an undervalued thing at the end of the day. But
Mhm.
we had slated time to it. But you know, also the 2dev thing is interesting because there's a lot more people on PSA that are still around, and so we'll see probably Monday how things flesh out and where people go. So I think it's not going to end up being a 2v team. I think it's going to be quite a bit more than that. But and they actually might get more resources and better resources in general than what we had before. So
Okay.
That's very heartwarming.
Do you think there might be a merging of the teams between Planetside 2 and Arena?
I don't know, but I think there possibility is potentially there. So, or at least resources will be able to move into other things.
Did you ever know what happened to the colorblind?
I think a lot of that actually got set up. I think there's a lot of the colorblind mode stuff that was done.
I didn't see any patch notes about it anywhere ever.
Garrett released it in December. Basically, it allowed you to modify a bunch of different extra settings, like all of the orbital strike circles or all of the can't spawn circles things,
Yes.
to actually be different colors. One of the cool things was that Garrett himself is colorblind, and so he was able to basically make the mode for himself.
Like if you go to the interface tab in the settings, you can that's where all this
Okay.
happens.
Yeah, I have a couple friends that are colorblind and said they were still having issues, so.
Is there anything? Drew, with that question, is there anything you would say about the game now that you're no longer a dev that you would have not said if you would be a dev?
Yeah, I fucking hate the European community. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna mute Drew. Thank you.
And the stream. No, deleting the VOD. No, I don't know. I think that like the team did as much as they could with the amount of work, the amount of things that they had, and I really am proud of the people that I worked with, and I'm happy to have worked with the people that I worked with, and I'm doing everything I can to help some of the people who were affected in order to make or to make their lives easier and to kind of get them into jobs that are going to be better for them. But it's a sad thing when people get laid off, and I hate watching friends and companions and compatriots that I've spent hundreds of hours with, daily, weekly, just to basically watch them leave, and it's always sad to have everybody separate. So I'm proud of the team. I'm confident that Ro will do everything that he can in his power to make it better, and I think honestly in the long run, I think I'm hoping that this layoff actually made more of an impact on Planetside 2 and will actually give more resources to PS2. So
Okay, cool.
Wait, more resources? That's interesting thought. So more like they will just stop like with like Planetside Arena and then focus on Planetside 2?
I don't know. I hope that they will get more resources now, and that the teams will condense into something better, and they'll get more resources that they needed.
Yeah, that's something we need to wait and see.
Yeah, only one way to find out, and only one way to see how the game is going to do, and that's just to wait and see.
But you're gonna keep playing, or
Here and there. I have an alt account that's hidden and nobody knows of, so I'll probably end up playing that more often, and I'll be spending some time on the new game that I'm going to be working on and all of that as well.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, you want to know about other game things as well.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to join me, my referral code is... I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm a terribly sarcastic person, if you didn't know.
Hence the name. Let's go.
No, I just thought the name looked cool.
Want to find some more sarcastic quotes?
Yeah.
You can find them over there.
I'll probably do some streams this week and in this week. We'll see. may not be Planetside, but it'll be some game or another.
Yeah, actually, I've seen like a free game from Epic Games, like Surviving Mars. I'm actually really keen to try that out. Some different games.
I've been playing a lot of Destiny recently.
Destiny, yeah.
How is the new expansion? Have you played it?
It's really good.
Nice. I was considering
Really
getting into
good.
it. Oh.
I'm really glad they brought out free to play as well. I think that was a really smart direction that they went, and I think that the game feels it's still grindy, but it's not as grindy as it was before, and it feels like you're actually constantly doing things and you always have more to do. So they have done a good job with that.
My problem with the game was always that it seems I spent 90% of my time running through empty places, being told lore by some.
Oh yeah, not so much anymore. And your character speaks now, so you know.
Wow. Okay, that's actually interesting.
Is there like a one cohesive topic? Because if there is, I need some help finding it. Yeah. If you're not known into the Planetside community, well, has been a big layoff and big change happening to Planetside as a game and as a franchise maybe. And today we have one of the ex-developers on, and just a field of experts talking about the game. Right now we've talked about a lot of things already. So that's the cohesive topic is right now,
really,
yeah.
Just talk along pretty much.
Now we're talking just, yeah.
Yeah. We pretty much lost the topic.
Yeah.
But I think it's fine.
I mean, you guys are interesting as persons as well, more than just the game, so.
I mean, some of us are.
Some of us, yeah. I'm just,
Imp's a little off, but you know, that's just how it is.
Okay, I've got one more question to go on. For everyone here, if Planetside 2 were to fold up tomorrow, what game do you think you would switch to as your primary?
None. I would stop playing games pretty much, to be honest.
Star Citizen.
Gross.
Why is everyone...
You know, I'm probably gonna go Destiny, Elder Scrolls.
Star Citizens, isn't that game that you have to sell your kidney for just for?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the game.
Yes, the game of
They-
the
they-
$15,000 internet spaceship.
Imp, help me on this one.
Oh, wait, it gets much worse than 15.
Yeah, so you
Oh
just...
yeah? Awesome.
There's legitimately a package for $22,000 in it.
Jesus.
Ouch!
What?
So have you bought it, Imp, or?
Yeah, I've got a ship in it. I only invested the modest amount of $260.
Oh, only
But,
260. Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna use your Twitch money to buy the.
Oh, yeah.
$20,000.
That makes sense.
My job.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's a really interesting project. If you go into it thinking, all right, I'll get my entertainment dollar value out of it, and that's fine. The project could fail either way, but there are people who are like tens of thousands of dollars into that. Like, oh,
Yeah, but
crazy.
I mean, there are people
Yeah.
like that in TF2, right? Like the hats community, or like the hats market in general.
well, I'm sure,
There was
but
there was like a golden pan that was like $8,000.
but there's an actual finished quantifiable product there for those guys. You know, they know the gameplay loop. They know when they log in, this is what they get.
Yeah, the hats. That's the gameplay loop.
The hats. But yeah, Star Citizen is very much in dev. It's really interesting, very fascinating project. If it does come to fruition, it'll be just so good. But that's if, not when. You know.
I think that's the same thing I have with a bunch of games that are coming out. Like if Ashes of Creation can deliver on all of their promises for their MMO, I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I think that if Star Citizen can deliver in the next year or two instead of 20 years,
Yeah.
it'll be better. But you know, we'll see how that goes. I mean, just a lot of games, I really want them to be able to actually deliver. And it's always unfortunate when you watch some of these games that are kickstarted and stuff to, you know, talk about, hey, yeah, we have all of these promises, and then, you know, year 6 comes by and you still haven't delivered on any of the promises. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, Roguewolf, to come back to the topic, what games will we play? I have seen some discussion in the FU community, it's a freelancers union in Miller, and they are an outfit, and they want to keep playing together as a community because they met each other inside Planetside, but in case if it dies, they want to have like a plan B. And the nice thing is they had like a spreadsheet with all kind of games ranging from Guild Wars to Battlefield 3, Hell Let Loose, all those different kind of games, and nobody seemed to agree. I think that
Yeah.
shows again that Planetside 2 is just such a unique game that it brings people from all kinds of corners together, but it isn't replaceable directly.
No, there's really no other game on the market I can think of where you could just like transport an entire community over and they'd all be happy.
No.
Yeah, somebody's been talking about Angels. Oh, what was the name? Fallen Angels?
Fall first.
That's the one, I think.
Hey.
But that's
I just
another
got
early
MechWarrior
access that, yeah.
Oh, I played MechWarrior Online. I quit because the community was too toxic and it was just too
Yeah.
competitive.
Go figure.
It's like Planetside. Like, at least I met pretty much 90 to 99% of the people that I know now. I met through Planetside. So
hmm
Planetside gave like brought me into this gamer community. Yeah, like pretty much. So I'm
Planetside
really
gives.
unhappy if it would die like just tomorrow. So
But wouldn't you be afraid to lose people?
I would be. Yes, I would be. I would be afraid to lose like some friends at least.
It's also incredible how many people have actually played the game for over 4,000 hours to see. It's not just you, it's a lot of players actually. That shows again that there's a lot of replayability.
Yes. I mean, I played this game for way too long, so I've played this game for like 15 to like 12 to 15,000 hours, like somewhere in between the.
Yeah, I mean, like I do a lot of complaining about this game sometimes, right? You all know that, but the amount of entertainment that I've gotten out of this game for the amount of money that I put into it is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Like you don't have to pay anything, and you can literally play it for
Yeah.
like 5 to like 10,000 hours, no matter how long, because you don't have to spend anything. It's like incredible compared to other games. Like
Arrow
How many
asks.
of us?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
How many of us are cash cows here? I know I am. Every year it's like $300 I've dropped on the game.
The thing with Planetside is like if you treat it like a new game you buy, like the new Call of Duty, it's like 60 euros. Another game, it's like 40 euros. So like I think it's only fair to yourselves and towards the game to just invest like a little bit because you're playing it for absolutely free.
yes,
And that's literally why like last week I think I just decided like with Tel, another guy from Twitch, and I decided like yeah I just want to get some skins and do something because I've been playing this for way too long.
yeah.
Well, there's been a whole.
to do that like back in the days,
Yeah.
like really long time ago, and that's why I kind of spent some money, to say the least. But I don't regret spending it, to be honest. I don't regret it at all.
Can we get Planetside 2 open source, please?
Yeah,
No.
just go ahead.
No.
Go ahead and
Okay,
post
so
it.
Hoffen has a really good post on this, and it was basically he does this on his Twitter. I can find it if you want, but he basically explained why it would be really bad to do that. And basically, what would happen is we'd have to rip out like a bunch of different systems that are third-party systems that we couldn't share the source code to, and so it basically would end up just being a shell without physics and without a bunch of other like systems in the entire game, like code systems in the game, and like then it would just be a shell that wouldn't actually function. Yeah, thank you, Ro. So read that thread. And
I
then
was just
quit,
joking,
quit
but
bitching.
yeah.
Plus, a lot of people don't understand what it would take to run a server like that. They think, oh, well, I can get like a 32-player Counter-Strike server for like $10 a month. How hard it can be? You're like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure these are running on Blade Centers. I don't know. Drew might know, but like a big Blade Center would.
No, we ran it outside of a box outside of our office. I think. I'm kidding. We didn't.
Yeah, I know.
Behind the dumpster.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the hamsters, right?
Does it have a
Yeah.
Pentium 3?
No, it has a hamster, literally.
The turbo button shocks the hamster.
But actually, that's
That's
quite kind of
animal
interesting.
cruelty, and I have to report you to PETA.
In like in December, the server performance was really bad. Was it something you guys could prevent, or was it something the servers were doing, or what happened back then?
A lot of stuff was happening.
Okay.
We've definitely spent a lot of time doing a lot of performance work. And as frustrating as it is, because there's only so much that we can really do about it, and with the resources that we had. But I think, yeah, there were definitely moments where we improved server performance quite a bit. But you know, yeah.
Interesting. I saw a question from somebody. Is this the time to mourn about the game? Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
The game is not going anywhere, according to Rel. So that's good. Yeah, guys, for me, it is getting pretty late. So I think we're going to closely call it for tonight. I want to thank you all. Do you guys want to say anything to the stream, chat, whatever?
I'd like to give a big thank you to Drew for showing up and giving us a lot of good information about what's going on and what happened.
Just like to thank the Daybreak devs. I know you guys did well, and management just screwed the pooch this time. Like, I mean, come on, what can you do?
Yeah, same. I just hope everybody lands on their feet and finds a better alternative.
I just want to say that I hope that Drew's future looks great as it did with Derek games. And I really hope that Rel does the good decisions and hopes that everything works out with Planetside.
Yeah, I just want to thank Ro. Like, he's been a phenomenal mentor to me and helped me grow quite a bit, and pushed me really hard. And I think that's really good, and I want to see him do more. And like, I am excited to see where he goes in the games.
Okay, thank you. Well, guys, normally I would say that, well, we are back in 2 weeks, but unfortunately, this will be the last Planetside podcast from me. So there will be something in the future, but not right now with new podcasts, because probably the amount of content will be rather low. So thank you so much for all the talks, all the regular guests. For example, Mr. Rogue Wolf, you've been here a lot. So thank you a lot for that.
Here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Going back to The Sims. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. The Sims podcast. Yeah, again, guys, thank you so much, especially Drew for the late call. That was really cool. And all of you. I think we will see you Planetside.
I hope so.
Okay. Have a good one, guys.
Hope. No giving up.